stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
All right, we got it. Woohoo! Good afternoon, everyone. Just gotta get one more thing done here. There we go. All right. Good to see you guys. Double dipping today. Got my meeting tomorrow. My brain's going. I feel like I haven't accomplished what I need to. I don't feel accomplished for the day, so I thought I'd come on and may solve that by talking. Sometimes we got to utilize what we have, right? And I sat here for a little bit trying to figure out a topic because I got a lot of things on my mind, right? And I don't really want to come on here and bitch and complain, things like that either, right? All right, so if you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. Just let me know that you're here. It does affect, like, the more comments and stuff that I get, the more Facebook will put it out there and stuff. I mean, that's just how it works, which I think is stupid. So I'm wasting a little bit of time, see if people are gonna make it on here. Hi, Mary. Good to see you. Good to see you on Instagram there. If you'd hang out with us for just a second, I'm getting some things together for us. And we are where we need to be. Okay. All right. So, and it's funny because people are even commenting now, and what's it about, Mary? So the responsibility statement. So what's this about? I do a daily reflection today. I'm doing a second one. And what we do a lot of times, we just read the AA daily reflection and talk about it. And I usually do that in the mornings. I'm in Colorado, so I'm Mountain Standard Time. If that helps you out any. But you're certainly welcome. I just kind of share my experience, strength, and hope with it. And I certainly hope, if you feel like you have a different experience, I'd like you to share it, because this is about what we can all do together. So, Mary, your experience might be different than mine, and people need to hear that. So I'm just trying to create a safe space for people to come and share that. And that's what we're doing. Right now, we're talking about the responsibility statement. Yeah, man. So the responsibility statement goes as such: whenever anyone anywhere reaches out for help, I want the hand of AA to be there, and for that, I'm responsible. And I thought it might be kind of fun to do a little bit of digging, get some history behind it, kind of what Bill W. meant on it and stuff. So I pulled some stuff up, did a little bit of reading. Then I'll read just a little bit, and then let's talk about it. AA's co-founder, Bill, in his talk to over 10,000 attending the major sessions of the convention, stressed the need for cooperation with all who work on the problem of alcoholism. The more than 100 agencies in the United States and Canada alone now engage in research, alcohol education, and rehabilitation. Now, that was a long time ago, and it's probably a lot more than that now, I would think. That's what I would think it'd be a lot more. Too often we have depreciated and even derided these projects of our friends just because we do not always see eye to eye with them, Bill said. We should very seriously ask ourselves how many alcoholics have gone on drinking simply because we have failed to cooperate in good spirit with the many agencies. No alcoholic should go mad or die merely because he did not come straight to AA in the beginning. And AA is kind of changing that way also. I'm a member of a 12-step group, and I'm involved Okay, but I will let you know that AA is not the only way to get sober, man. There's plenty of ways to get sober. Um, and I support almost all of them. Okay. And I'm not talking about the people that you just see on the, I mean, do some research on it. Look into it on your resources. Because a lot of times it's just somebody selling a freaking book. What they're doing is what I call reinventing the wheel. And we're not going to do that. There is no reason to reinvent the wheel. It's already been made. Okay. Um, yes, I understand improvements, changes, things like that, right? Like some of the verbiage in the big book. Even now, when I do the preamble, I've changed it to people. I understand people want to be treated differently. There are some people that don't like being called normies. They don't appreciate that from us, right? Um, if you go to Google and put in SUD, it doesn't know what you're talking about. I tried that earlier, SUD, and it has no idea. And you guys are probably even going, what the heck are you talking about? SUD stands for substance use disorder, and it is the new buzzword. Just call me an alcoholic, please. There's no reason. Instead, maybe just stop treating alcoholics like shit, and then that stigma kind of changes. Right? So let's read a little bit more on this because I feel like I'm kind of getting off the topic there. The first concern of AA members should be with the problem drinkers the movement is still unable to reach. Bill said he estimated that there are 20 million alcoholics in the world today, 5 million in the US alone. Some cannot be reached because they are not hurt enough, others because they are hurt too much. Many sufferers have mental and emotional complication that seems to foreclose their chances. Yet it would be a conservative estimate that any particular time there are 4 million alcoholics in the world who are able, ready, and willing to get well if they only knew how. When we remember that in 30 years of AA's existence, we have reached less than 10% of those who might be willing to approach us. When we begin to get the idea of immensity of our tasks and the responsibilities with which we will always be confronted. There have been 2 advisory boards from the General Service Conference regarding the Declaration of Responsibility. See, we call it the responsibility statement, and this is actually a declaration. Okay? And a declaration means that we're going to commit to this. Yes, I can commit to the fact that when anyone anywhere reaches out for help, I want the hand of AA to be there. Now, you don't necessarily have to do that as an AA member either. Why can't you just be a neighbor helping out? Why can't you just be the person running up to grab that door for somebody that needs it because their hands are freaking full? Help an old lady across the street. If you see a friend, here's one. If you see a friend suffering, reach out. I try and do that. If I see my friends on Facebook and they're suffering, I'll just call them and ask them how they're doing. There is always a way to help. But Dion, this whole coronavirus has made it very difficult for me to do that. I don't buy that. What I'm gonna answer that with a question. How willing are you to do this? Because that's really the real question. What is your willingness level with the responsibility statement? Do you feel responsible? Be nice if some people joined here, man. I'm doing it at a weird time, and I don't even know that. Yeah, doesn't matter. So let's see. I don't think there was anything behind that. Anything else? We must remember that AA will continue strong so long as each of us freely freely and happily gives away to another person, only as each of us takes our fair share of responsibility for sponsorship of those. And I just got out of it. You know what? I know that there's probably nobody watching this, but I just got a message from somebody and they need some prayers. I mean, do you guys mind if we say a prayer for my friend? I'm going to keep him anonymous, but if you just, God, if you could help him out and guide him to where he needs to be and what he needs to do. This is a good man too. See, I was just saying, you know, sorry. All right. It's a God, dude. Now my mind's going. Okay. Because I'm going to help that person out. Of course I am. Even if he has to put a tent in my backyard, I'll help him. All right. Thank you guys very much for doing that with me. I appreciate it. So that is our responsibility, isn't it? God just kind of just proved it to me. You know, when we are willing and capable, then we can help other people. We can. And this guy's a normie. I actually get along with this guy very well because we both have PTSD and anxiety. Okay. He's also autistic. Highly intelligent. Very, 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 very intelligent. God, we lift up this individual to you and we ask to cover him with your peace that passes all understanding. We ask you to give him eyes to see and ears to hear. And we pray, God, that you would lead and guide and direct his path to you. Thank you, Paula. That was beautiful. I'm not the best at prayers and doing that part. I'm very, my conversations with God are just like the ones that I have with you. I don't talk to anybody differently because I don't want to wear different hats. Oh, and he's got his kid. Shit. That's going to make it really hard. God will take care of it. He can take care of us. So, the responsibility statement, do you feel it? I know I do. So, I'm going to dig in a little bit further here. Now that we feel responsible and we see that we're responsible, that you have a duty to God, then we have to take the next step. Okay. And these are going to be the harder steps. In Colorado, there's going to be some changes here in the next few weeks, and it's going to piss off a lot of people. But there were some things that had to be stopped. It's killing people. And I believe even greed has its limitations. I do. I believe that. So I have been having deep-rooted, heart-to-heart conversations with a lot of different people. I have a meeting with Mayor Kaufman tomorrow, and I tell you right now, my mind is blank when it comes to it. Now, you would think that would make me nervous, but it doesn't make me nervous because when my mind blanks like that, it means that God's coming in. It means God has it. So, in the beginning of this, I said, I feel like I didn't do enough today. I didn't feel like I had done enough, right? I come on here, I say that, and then I hear from a friend I haven't heard from in over a year, right? With regard to the opioid crisis or what you were talking about, I'm sorry. I didn't say anything about it, Paul. It doesn't have to do with the opioid crisis. It actually has to do with Medicaid fraud. That's what it is. It is what it is. I am going for recovery equity, and that's what I do here. Sorry, he keeps texting me, and it's hard not to read it. So I apologize. Thank you guys for let my brain be divided there. I appreciate that. So yeah, I do feel responsible for those things. And when my mind goes blank, I know that God has it. Right. So so once we get that and we decide our intentions, okay, sometimes we move on and we become other things. Okay. I'm going to use recovery coaching as an example. Okay. And people got mad at me about this a couple of years ago. And I told them, no, you should not make anybody a recovery coach that hasn't gotten at least a year and have done the steps. And people are like, no, it needs to be open. And then I'm like, oh, you're gonna do it. Right. What happens is the recovery coaches haven't done their program, and they're going back out. And we've helped nobody. That means that it means that we're having to cover our recovery coaches. And what that has also done is also, because I'm trying to get through this so that we can get to this recovery equity. And I come to find out a few weeks ago that a lot of professionals don't like recovery coaches here in Colorado because there has been division and a lot of people have acted like children. The bullies ruined the playground, and now we need to go back and repair it. And that's going to take a little while. That trust isn't there. And I need to rebuild that trust. And that's going to be a job in and of itself. Who's going to pay for that? Because I am getting kind of tired of working for free. I don't make any money off of this. And I'll tell you why. Number one, I don't really think of it that often. And number two, it's my leverage. See, Paula's like, I've never even heard of a recovery coach. Good. Then it hasn't been ruined yet. A recovery coach is a guide. They are for resources. That's what a recovery coach does. So let's say you're in a sober living home, right? Yeah, sponsorship, but not recovery. Yeah. So sponsors help you through the 12 steps. They guide you through that, right? A recovery coach is going to do things like help you get your driver's license back, figure out how to get insurance, daily living kind of stuff, making sure you have a primary care physician. Do you need to go to therapy? Are we dealing with extra issues, mental health issues? Because a lot of times we are. From there, what we do is we take our resources and we send them to the appropriate people. But the problem is this: they haven't been referring them. They've been trying to take care of it themselves and charge Medicaid, and they are not, my friends, therapists. It's about staying in your own lane. And you got to be careful, or you're going to get this title and you're going to become too big for your britches. And then you'll find yourself with 12 clients and you're not sponsoring anybody. I actually train recovery coaches. I do that. And I went in and did that so that the intention and everything could be done correctly. Okay. If you come to me and said, Dion, I want to be a recovery coach. Okay, great. How many people are you sponsoring? None? Nope. Go do some service work. Then I'll talk to you. You got to put in your time, dude. So do you have to be certified to become a recovery coach? What are the regulations? Okay, you need to have 60 hours of training. That's the short version, Paula. So you need to have 60 hours of training. Then there's a little bit more training. And then you also need to put in your supervision hours. You have to get a certain amount of hours. But you can become certified state and then put in your hours so that you can be nationwide. So that's the skinny of it, Paula. The really short version. As far as regulations, No, it's a shit show. And even the recovery coaches will tell you it's the Wild West out there. And the thing is we were set up correctly, but just everybody decided they wanted to do this, they wanted to do that. I'll give you an example, real quick, and then, man, it's been 20 minutes, but I don't feel like shutting up yet. So I'll give you an example. About 9 months ago, I was asked to come on board with Salvation Army, the Salvation Men's Recovery Center. And I was asked because I fight for homeless, because I'm a housing first person. I've been homeless twice myself. Second time I wouldn't even call homeless. I would call it couch surfing. Okay. The first time, no, I was living on the streets when I was 19. And I was able to pull myself out of it because there were resources available. And those resources, my friends, are not available. So I was asked to participate in this, and we had pulled some money together, put roof over, and these people were going to get apartments. They were going to, and we were going to be able to do some great things. And then another group of people came in and convinced the person working there that the grass is greener on the other side, and instead of putting houses over or a roof over their heads, we should teach them boxing. So I told them to fuck off. And when they're ready to actually do it correct, I will go back. But we will be having a very deep discussion on what is right and what is wrong. Okay? And how to grow a set of balls and say something about it. You are hired for that position for a reason. Okay? And it's got to be done the correct way. I know, Paul. Now you guys can see why I don't want to say fighting, because I haven't been fighting. But now you understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. That how much danger we're actually in. I can't reiterate it enough, and I just don't have all the words for it. But I do know the right way to do it, and I'm going to go get it done. And I ain't going to shut the fuck up until it's done. That's the thing is, see, there's not much else you can do to me. I'm my own worst critic. And I just have too many people whispering in my ear nowadays, along with God saying, don't stop. Do not stop. You're doing the right thing. Okay? Why do a lot of people not do it? Because it's fucking scary, man. It is. It can be scary. Especially when you have PTSD and you're paranoid. I had to work on a lot of stuff myself, too, to get to that point. I talked to a lot of people. A lot of therapy. I did a lot of work in the last year. All right. And now we're getting to a point where some of these other things are settling down or going away, and I'll be able to open up a little bit more. But unfortunately, I can't. I can't give them word. They don't watch my shit, I can tell you that. And that's just one example of some of the things that's happened in the last couple of years that I see. Yeah. A lot of times people fear me coming on because I'm going to do the right thing, which probably means taking money out of your pocket because you're not doing it correctly. Can't believe it. Well, thank you guys for being here. Jackie and Paula for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. I'm feeling a little more accomplished today. If somebody knows of a place in Colorado where a fantastic guy and his daughter can hang out for a couple weeks, he makes good money. Okay, so somebody taught me, try and get this right. So somebody taught me, instead of saying thank you, this is thanks so much for what you are doing for us and others. God bless you. How did she say we were supposed to say that? That I appreciate it. God, I forgot it already. Paula says it was great to come on here. I think my only purpose was to pray. And I think I just popped in here. I think that's what it was really all about. God said, Dion, you're going to get some people together because you're going to need to do a prayer. And thank you guys for doing that with me too. That's exactly why I do this, so that you guys can see exactly what happens in God's world. And I don't have anything to hide. Not anymore. I used to. But I'm past that shit. All right, guys. I'm going to go help out my friend and get something done for him. All right, guys. I love you. Peace out and have a day.